Spectrum Sky ID, the remote ID module. I got it unboxed. Let's go through all these different leads here, why they're here, what you do with them, how you need to update it before. Let's talk about everything in the package. Stay tuned, guys. Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. So we've got the Sky ID remote ID module and the good old Prentice. My very first plane. Gonna keep this thing as long as I can. And then the old Night Timber X. We did the servo repair on it a few videos back. But we got the remote ID module. Let's see what this thing's all about. Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes, and we have the leash, the FAA remote ID module. So this is Spectrum Sky ID. This is the little module that we're supposed to put in our airplanes if we're flying at a location that's not approved to fly without one. We're supposed to toss and send our plane, give it power, and it sends off a like a cell phone signal, and therefore it will allow other people to see who's flying, what, and when and where. And there's all kinds of different controversy on how big of a signal this thing sends out, and what it's really used for. I think it's mainly for drones. The drones are a big deal now. People are using them for everything, filming commercials, for checking the roof out on a high rise if it needs repair, just all kinds of stuff. And you can fly the drones, wearing the headset or looking at the screen of your phone or what have you, and you can fly those things, sometimes miles away. So that is what this thing is really for. But I think the drone people said, hey, if you're going to make us do it, you need to make everybody do it. So here we have the remote ID, Sky ID module by Spectrum. I say we hook it up. I'll show you guys exactly how we do it, and we'll just check it out. So you can just give this thing power and throw it in your airplane and technically be legal. Or you can connect this thing to a receiver that's compatible, seeing the telemetry data, the smart Sky ID module, to your smart receiver, to your smart transmitter, and then you get to see some cool stuff. I think there's altitude and maybe some other stuff. So in this video, I'll show you how to connect it. It'll be my first time, and we'll do it in the old Apprentice. That'd be a good one. All right, hey, let's unbox this thing. All right, let's take a look at it here in the package, all for its glory here. So there's a little I can't even talk because I don't like it. The little leash Sky ID comes with a bunch of different wires and plugs, so you have different availability of powering it. And so all you need to do is put voltage to it, and you're technically legal. And you can see that the input voltage is between 3 and 9 volts. That's quite a range. All right, let's open this thing up and take a look at the directions, and then we'll check it all out, and I'll show you how we're going to connect it to the Apprentice. I happen to have a flight controller that is very similar to the one that's in the Apprentice. I think this one actually came out of the Hobby Zone Cub. Comes with a bunch of different plugs. And let's see what's in here. Oh, there is a manual. There is a manual. Plus, you can always go to, Horizon Hobby, Tower Hobbies, Spectrum website, all kinds of stuff to see all the mumbo jumbo. Okay, this is cool. List of the receivers and how you can plug it up. Alrighty, I got this guy unboxed. It comes with all these different leads. In this video, I'm just going to tell you what all these leads are for and why you can use them or not use them. And then in the next video, I'm going to try to connect this to the Apprentice, and then we'll see what we can see on the transmitter. You know how I always say that you need to have all your Spectrum products registered to you inside My Spectrum. Each individual person has their own My Spectrum. You go to spectrumrc.com Once you're inside that website, that's where you access My Spectrum. And then you register all your products so you can get updates and program them and take full advantage of everything they have to offer. Look at the sticker on the back of this guy. Don't look at my hands, just the sticker. Oh, update prior to use. Update prior to use. So, the plugs on the top on this list, they're all the same. They're all the SRXL2 plug, 4-pin plug. If you want to power this device and you're not worried about seeing the data that it's going to send back to your transmitter, you just want to power it and be legal. Then this plug on the left would be the one for that. There's only one plug on the SkyID module. Plug that in there. And then here, black and red, positive, negative. And all you need to do is give it between 3 and 9 volts and you're good to go. You know, use your imagination how you want to give it 3 to 9 volts. You can use a empty servo plug, you can use a battery, you can use whatever. This next plug is SRXL2 to SRXL2. So you plug it into the SkyID, and then you would plug it into the SRXL2 spot on your receiver. This next one is SRXL2, goes in the SkyID servo plug. Plugs into your receiver. This next one, SRXL2 into the SkyID, 2 micro servo plugs. This one here is SRXL2 to, people call it the female servo plug. I think it's actually the male. This is so you can plug your USB programmer in it and update prior to use. So this one would be for updating it. This one here is the SRXL2 to the micro receiver, just like this receiver here at the top where my nasty thumb is. This one here, SRXL2, goes in the SkyID module and then has a servo plug that we're all familiar with. If you want to power it and be legal, just plug it into an empty servo plug, port on your receiver and you're good to go. If you want to see the data this thing can send back to our transmitters, then you can plug this into the bind program SRXL2 plug. Yes, the bind plug or the bind port can do 3 different things on smart receivers. Look at this AR630. You got 2 options to plug up the SkyID and see the data. You can use the bind plug or the number 1 servo port. So the bind is bind program SRXL2. 3 different things can happen in that one port. Or you can use the number 1 servo port with a smart receiver. Well, Sean, what about my electronic speed control? Well, you can use, if you have a Avian smart speed control, then you can use the number 1 servo port with a Y harness. Only if you're using Avian smart speed control. So that's different options for the servo plug. The next one is SRXL2 to SRXL2. Into the SkyID and then into an available SRXL2 plug. Just like on this AR637T, it has a SRXL2 plug right there, the one on the right. And then if you want to just power it like we talked about, SRXL2, positive and negative to a JST plug. Japan solderless terminal. All the different configurations are here. Bunch of different information. Some good information. So that is the SkyID module unboxed. I'm glad it came with a instruction manual. It comes with some I call it Velcro, they call it hook and loop. All kinds of good information here. The telemetry data that it can send back to the transmitter is pretty cool. GPS includes aircraft ground speed, altitude, position, latitude, longitude, heading distance, and time. We need to update this thing, and then we'll try to plug it up to the apprentice. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next video. We'll get this guy updated, and then I'll figure out a way to connect it to the apprentice, because in the directions it didn't say anything about how to connect it to the apprentice. This is a flight controller that is very similar to the one that's in the apprentice. I think this actually came out of maybe a Hobby Zone Cub, but there is not a second SRXL2 plug, because that's what it uses for its receiver. This is a flight controller, not a receiver. This is the receiver, an SRXL2 receiver that's plugged into the SRXL2 spot. This right here is not a mini servo plug. That's for the LED lights, GPS, and then another plug very similar to the one with the lights. At first I thought this one would plug into it, but no, it's different. It won't. So maybe we can plug it up into the bind on this one, or maybe we can plug it up into 2, because if you're using a smart telemetry capable speed control with this, I think you plug it into 6. So we're gonna fool around with that and figure out how to get it going in the apprentice. All right, guys. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Make sure you're still subscribed. A lot of people are being automatically unsubscribed somehow. I don't know. And until next time, you'll see me here. The first apprentice, my very first plane, guys. This is the non-smart one. Had safe and AS3X, but did not have any non-smart capabilities. But I have converted it to smart. Over and out.